Hey, what's up guys? We are back again for another review. I am the Toy Bro as always, and we are going to take a look at the Star Wars Black Series 40th Anniversary Death Squad Commander figure from Hasbro. So I've done a couple of these so far, out of Wave 2 anyway. I did the Jawa in the 40th card back, but I did the Tusken Raider. He was just a standard release because I didn't get the full set until today. So I finally caught up on the entirety of 40th Anniversary. I am done. And this guy is the last one I needed to actually review in terms of new figures. So he comes on that 40th Anniversary card back. We've got our figure on the bubble. We got the Kenner logo and the 40th Anniversary logo in the top. Spin him around. Same kind of packaging we've seen with the rest. We've got our Wave 1, Wave 2, and then we've got our stand that came with Vader. So let's crack this guy out and take a look. Alright, so here's our figure out of the packaging, and for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with this guy, you see him kind of all over the Death Star in A New Hope, you see him in Return of the Jedi. They were originally called the Death Squad Commanders for the original Kenner line. They were in a gray suit though instead of black, and that name was eventually changed throughout the years to Death Star Commander just because of the connotations of that name. They're also known as Imperial Navy officers or Imperial Navy commanders, Imperial Navy troops, so on and so forth. But let's take a look at this guy and see what he's got. He's kind of just a generic character, but he's actually kind of cool. I like him so far, just from my initial impressions. So we'll do articulation, paint, sculpt. The helmet is removable. I'm going to start there just to get it out of the way. So the helmet can come off. It's just kind of a flat piece of black plastic. You do have some sculpted designs on there, these little holes and more little sculpted detail here on the side. And it does fit pretty snugly around the head and underneath the chin, so it's not really going to go anywhere. I'm going to set it aside for the time being though. Now as far as articulation goes, his head can move side to side. He is hinged. He can go back more than he can go down, I think. It's not a great deal, just this collar is going to get in the way a little bit. Arms can go all the way out. Up and around. We've got a, what is that? Single jointed elbow, which can rotate. And then we have a rotation at the wrist. But there doesn't seem to be any actual joint there as far as hinge. Nope, there it is. It's just kind of subtle. It's an up and down hinge, but it's kind of hidden by this wrist strap here. So not a lot of movement because of that either. Interesting. And then the hinge on the other hand is the same, up and down. This one moves a little better. Maybe it's just mine. He can swivel at the waist. A little bit of forward and backwards motion there, not tons. The legs go out a decent bit despite having the material around the legs. That's pretty good. There is a thigh cut. And then, of course, the thigh joint will move around a little bit. He can kick about 90 degrees and then back a decent bit in spite of that again. Double jointed knees. And there is nothing at the boot, but there is a rocker and a hinge at that ankle joint. So pretty standard for a Black Series figure. Now, as far as the sculpt goes, I think that this is a pretty decent figure. He's basically in a uniform, so there's not tons of detail here. But we do have the sculpted boots, wrinkles sculpted into the pants. There's the tunic that he wears with the sculpted detail and line work on that. He's got his holster. We'll get to the accessory here in a minute. And then we've got the kind of pouches and the buckle on the belt, which are sculpted nicely. He has got a buckle sculpted onto the wrist, and then obviously the head is going to be a new area. He kind of looks a little bit like the Poe Dameron figures to me. In a better way. This is a better looking figure. He's just a generic male though. He doesn't look anything like the guy on the card back, obviously. This guy's much younger, but he looks pretty good. Not a whole lot going on there. I think, this is probably going to be another situation where the face sculpt is better than it seems because there's just not a lot of paint on there. But overall he looks decent. I don't have any flaws with this guy. I think he'll make for a good troop builder if you're interested in a more generic guy that's not just a stormtrooper. I don't think I'm going to need maybe more than 2 of these total ever. But he's pretty cool. I like him so far. Now, as far as paint goes, there's not a ton. We've got eyes, we've got eyebrows, we've obviously got painted hair. There's no real shading in that. And then we have got the silver on the buckles and the pouches. We do have that Imperial insignia there, and it's pretty clean. I don't see any issues on that. We've got silver on these buckles, on the wrists. And that's pretty much it. The rest of them is just black all through and through. Different ways of molding it. This is molded one way, and then the boots are different, but it's not painted by the looks of it. And then there is no paint of any kind that I can see on the helmet. We're going to pop that back on him. And like I said, it sits on there pretty good. I'm never going to have him any other way than this, but it's nice that it is movable and removable. Now, as far as accessories go, we've seen this guy before. This is the DH-17. I always forget when I talk about this thing. And it's just a standard blaster. He can hold it in his right hand. He does have a trigger finger. Silver on the gun, on the barrel. And then it's kind of a gun-metal-y color. This is the same gun that we get with Lando, among others. And of course, he can take it out, put it in his holster, and it'll sit there just fine as well. So if you don't want him in an action pose, you've got a place to put his accessory without having to keep it in the box or finding a way to store it. Overall, pretty good figure. I mean, he's probably going to blow your mind. He's probably going to be, in terms of the new characters, the peg warmer, assuming these even get to that level. But he's a cool character. He's a good addition. You know, it's one we had to have to kind of make this set whole. So I am glad to have him. Got one carded and got one open now, obviously. So he's going to make a good addition to the set. He's just not, like I said, he's not going to blow your mind. But if you're a Star Wars fan, you know what this guy means to the line, where he comes from in the history of the toy line. So it's important to have. So that is going to do it for this review. As always, stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Do that whole YouTube deal for me. And until next time.